O wise old ancient one, what could have possibly bested you in combat? Ensure you look both ways before crossing the battleground, brothers.
Sorry for that cringy ass intro, but I thought it was kind of funny. But you know what the title of the video is, you know the thumbnail. We're painting a Dreadnought today. So come with me as we tear open this box. Originally I wanted to build the Contemptor Dreadnought when doing this project, but then I realized you had to buy all the separate weapons for him, and I thought that was kind of dumb. I paid for the Dreadnought, I want to use the whole Dreadnought, which eventually led me to the Primaris Redemptor Dreadnought, and I think he's definitely a step up from his older, slouchy counterpart. Oh, who else am I forgetting? Not you. Never. Never you. Taking a look inside this box, and I was actually pretty impressed by the quality of all these parts here. This is my first Games Workshop vehicle, and I was quite impressed by all the different parts and how well they were cast. And of course, perfectly, the one chapter I wanted to make this Dreadnought was not on the transfer sheet, so I had to go to my starter set transfer sheet to find the ones I needed. I'm also going to build both options for the Dreadnought, but I'm only going to probably use the plasma gun because we all know the rule of cool dominates this channel. Anyway, you know the drill. Clip the parts off the sprue, clean up the little areas where they touch the sprue, and use our little extra thin Tamiya cement to glue them all together. I'm not going to bore you too much with the assembly of this guy because mostly I just follow the instructions. I need one more night of watching Breaking Bad and assembling a Dreadnought, and we cut to the fully assembled dude. Most of the mold lines in this guy were pretty well hidden, but the ones in the back here were particularly egregious, so we'll have to go at them with some extra thin Tamiya cement. Half the assembly time on this guy was definitely spent playing with all the little parts on him. I love the fact that pretty much everything on him is movable except for the legs. I love that you can just open up his little cockpit and see the little coffin inside. It's definitely pretty awesome. Alright, let's tackle the base real quick. I'm gonna do my patented method of using cork stoppers like that you put on furniture, sticking it down to the base, making like a rocky texture. Oh, and make sure when you're building this base to leave room for the Dreadnought's feet, otherwise you cannot glue him down, pretty obviously. I also decided that I wanted to have some sort of sandy little undersection, so I used some PVA glue and just sprinkled some sand on there. And a healthy heaping of super glue, and he was placed. I also decided to give him some purity seals because I figured that Adeptus Mechanicus spent this much time building the damn Dreadnought, they'd probably want to decorate him at least a little bit. It also makes him look quite fabulous in my opinion. I also rarely paint in sub-assemblies, but this time it was quite necessary as you could not paint him in one piece, or you shouldn't paint him in one piece at least. And I picked up this little drill bit, first time using this thing, a little pin vise, and I made some bullet holes, some small, some larger ones, to try to make it look random, not too deliberate as well. I also just put the holes where I thought they would aim to shoot most. And a quick coat of black primer, and he was done. Also, I don't know who lied to me, but this is not matte black. The can says matte black. We also need to come back with a black paint and brush to fill in the little areas that the spray can missed. Because if you tried to get all these areas just with first try, you'd clog the details and it wouldn't look very good. Next, I wanted to create some shadows and highlights using a white and my airbrush. And obviously, I'm still an amateur at my airbrush. I'm terrible at it, you'll see. But it did end up working. I just had to put a lot of light coats of white, and then eventually we got something that looked resembling what I wanted. Next, I sprayed some green through my airbrush and tinted the white shades green. Then I came back and continued to coat them green, and definitely aiming for the areas between the panels to make them look darker. Now, I don't know, I didn't quite like how this turned out. He was definitely too light green. So next I decided to come back with a wash of orc skin and black speed paint. and just slobber that all over the model, and that seemed to do the trick quite well. I think that was definitely the right move. Whilst I waited for that to dry, I hit all the areas I wanted to be red with a Slaughter Red, with the red speed paint, and just kind of glopped that on everywhere, mostly the guns and the weapons I just wanted red. Next, I attempted to make a glowing effect on his plasma gun, and I think it turned out okay. I was a lot of going back between white and dark blue until I had some sort of blend going. Trying to get the white on the upper areas and the dark blue in the lower areas, and definitely like dripping white ink into it. Someone should definitely tell my cameraman to make sure the shot is in focus when you're filming something. Damn my cameraman, he needs to be fired. You should get him out of here. Next, I also painted all the areas I wanted to be brass with a greeny gold. I'll come back later with a dark wash and make it look less gold and more brassy, but that's definitely a fun step. One of the most dreaded steps of painting this guy I knew was coming was painting all the little in-between areas with a silver. Maybe I should have done this before I painted the armor panels, but it was too late now, and it took me definitely a while. I just went slow and was careful. Eventually I got all the Under Armor painted. With our metal paint on the palette, now it's time to fill in the little bullet holes we made on the guy. With the steadiest hand I could muster, I painted all the trim on the coffin gold. I thought the silver was looking a little too shiny for a giant walking robot, so I decided to put some brown paints in the recesses. I think this definitely helps sell the fact that he's not a toy and more of a model. We also can't forget to paint the little missiles red and the little missile carriers. And I decided to paint the little lights on his, what is this, little undersuit, the Zealot yellow, giving it like a little orange glow. And now comes time to paint his base. A while ago, I decided for whatever reason that my Dark Angels are on this weird alien planet with blue rocks and red sand, so that's pretty much all there is to it. Not a whole lot going on here. I just slobbered on some thin paint. And for his decals, obviously we're giving him a Dark Angel symbol, which I had to source from my starter set box, not in the Dreadnought box for whatever reason. The Dark Angel's the first goddamn... Why? And then I gave him the number 2 on his other chest plate, because that's about as high as I can count. And I left a little Omnisci blessing in his little cockpit for good luck, I guess. And all that was left to do was paint the base rim black. And then I called him done. I wanted to thank y'all for watching to the end of my video. As we know, every few counts. Yeah, I'm a small channel, hoping to upload weekly, but definitely my next project will probably be smaller because, well, I ain't made of money, guys. I think I want to do like a little mini-series of painting Space Marines. The idea for that kind of comes from Eons of Battle. I don't know if you guys have seen that channel, but you should definitely go check him out if you haven't seen his channel before. But yeah, if you do like this content, please leave a like or subscribe. Everything helps. You know, even your views help. You have no idea how much your guys' views mean to me. I'll hope to continue making projects like this. So, you know, stay tuned, I guess. Anyway, love you all. I'll see you, hopefully, in the next one. Toodles!